It was the summer of 1993, August to be exact. Princess Diana had yet to file for divorce from the Prince of Wales. Leslie Nielsen was on the cover of Penthouse, and President Clinton had just sworn in Ruth Bader Ginsburg to the Supreme Court of these United States. Incidentally, Mother Teresa had just been hospitalized with a case of malaria, and while those two yes queens would go on to define aspects of feminism for years to come, neither they nor the events or the people that I mentioned had even an iota of an effect on small town American women as the song we are discussing today did. The Bayou Baritone, the Louisiana Lover, slamming Sammy Kershaw raised the status of every trailer wife across the land to that of royalty, dropping the incredible Queen of My Double Wide Trailer as the third single on his seminal album, Haunted Heart. The song shot up to number 7 on the Billboard charts, but it remains number 1 in the hearts of American men whose homes are mobile, but whose love of a good woman absolutely is not. Boys, we're talking about Sammy Kershaw, Queen of My Double Wide Trailer today, and I'm excited.
That's right. Welcome back to the second
Can't
edition
beat it.
of Bubba Shot the Podcast, baby. I'm worried. I'm worried I'm going to end up saying a different version of the same thing each and every week, and I don't want that to happen.
It's okay.
But I
know what
just
you
got to say, very few 90s country songs slapped, still slap, and will continue to slap for me quite like this one does. This was one of my favorites back then. It's remained one of my favorites. I just don't know. I don't know. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bubba Shot the Podcast, and that's right. A show about country at its height. Don't expect no shit from 2005.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. That obviously next week I'll probably be saying some version of this, but with this song in particular, it has always had a special place in my heart. It's my gut. Me and Sammy have a similar register in voice, I suppose. So it's always been. I mean, I'm no Sammy Kershaw, but please don't think I was trying to say that. But we have the same octave, I guess, a little bit. So it's always been like one of my go-tos on karaoke if I kind of want to show out. And when I used to play in bars, like the band would be up there, and if I was there, there'd always be a lot of people that's like, y'all gotta get Corey up there to sing Queen of My Double Wide, because I'd be drunk and it was entertaining. So also I have wiped sweat from the brow of Sam and Slammy after he was playing this goddamn song. So it holds a special place in my heart. And as far as just 90s country goes, I mean, it's hard to just say, yeah, this person has a better country voice than Sammy Kershaw. He's got one of them voices that just like, I gotta get drunk now. I have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah. But also, we mentioned this at the end of last episode, but just to bring it back up for people that are listening, in sequence here, this also was written by fucking Dennis Lindy, the same guy.
Yeah.
The same guy that wrote Bubba Shot the Jukebox and John Deere Green, among others. I mean, just you talk about a hater. This guy was on a hater, man, in the early to mid 90s and in Nashville. My God.
We didn't mean to do this back to back, but he opens both songs. Obviously, it's different artists, so that doesn't necessarily matter. But he opens both songs, setting up the scene so perfectly. Last week we were down at Margie's Grill. Now we're at Murphy's Restaurant.
Margie's Bar, yeah. Yep.
Yes,
yeah, and like Murphy. I mean, when I hear Murphy's Restaurant, again, just like Margie's Bar, I immediately know where this motherfucker's at. Like whenever he's talking about ordering a slow gin fizz, I can see it coming across the table. It's perfect.
Well, it's funny you say that because I can remember when I was little. And by the way, Murphy's Restaurant is a pretty famous place in Atlanta. Is that what I looked up? Oh, wait, that might have been the less famous one. I don't know if this one's based on a real place. I feel certain the last one was. I remember when I was younger hearing this song and hearing Slow Gin Fizz, and I thought the song was an old song. When it came out and was on the radio, I thought they were playing a country classic, and that's why my mama knew all the words. Yeah. I don't even know what a Slow Gin Fizz is.
It's a mixed drink with sloe gin, SLOE gin, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know without. I'm looking it up right now. Sloe gin is a British red liqueur made with gin and sloes. Yeah. Sloes are the fruit of Prunus spinosa, a relative of the plum. Sloe gin has an alcohol content between 15 and 30% by volume. So it's its own like type of liqueur, sloe gin is. And I guess you just take sloe gin and put some fizz in there.
Here's a sloe gin fizz.
And that's a sloe gin fizz. Everybody knows what fizz is.
I'll help you out here. It's 1.5 ounces sloe gin, 1 ounce lemon juice, freshly squeezed, important, 3/4 ounce simple syrup, club soda to the top, garnish it with a lemon wedge, and garnish it with a cherry. That's your sloe gin fizz. This is an instance. I wanted to bring this up. I think this is just it sounded good in the song. And I say that because I've never in my life heard a goddamn anyone order a sloe gin fizz. And like the way he says it so matter-of-factly, the way he says it so matter-of-factly would be like, oh, yeah. And especially in a song like this is such a celebration of redneck culture, your redwood deck, your all that shit. It's like, oh, this must be, I always thought like, oh, this must be like a staple older people drink. And I know, never once. You know, like you would think like some people just because of this song would be drinking sloe gin fizzes, but I don't think the hit is the thing.
All right. I don't know because I don't know anyone who prefers that beverage either. But I will tell you another example that did come out years later, but it's from Loretta Lynn. Y'all remember that Loretta Lynn album, Van Lear Rose, that Jack White produced?
Absolutely.
Very famously won all his Grammys and stuff.
I knew about it.
Probably 12 years ago now. Well, there's some bangers on there. There's a song called Portland, Oregon, and Loretta Lynn is singing it, and the first words are, well, Portland, Oregon, and sloe gin fizz. If that ain't love, then tell me what is. And then and they get in, and then down. Well, sloe gin fizz works mighty fast when you drink it by the pitcher and not by the glass. Anyway, like sloe gin fizz features heavily in this Loretta Lynn song, a modern era Loretta Lynn song, but still she's of that generation. I'm saying this may just be a generational thing. Like it's seeming to me like it must have, hit for people for a while, I guess.
Well, gin joints.
Maybe, or she just thought it sounded good too. Maybe. Yeah.
Gin joint's an old phrase, and I think bathtub gin is an old phrase. These are things I've heard people say, but I've had I don't know what bathtub gin is. I know what back of the truck meth is. I don't think either of them hit, but it's
right.
Difference.
But you know how
I'd say that
drinks get like they're like a fad for a certain like period of time or region or whatnot. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking Jello molds or whatever. Shit happens. I've always just assumed that sloe gin fizz was one of those type of deals. Like it had its day in the sun, where it was like a trendy cocktail.
Yeah, I would say there was probably a lot of them because back then a cocktail was like not only like, oh, this is nice and tasty, but it was like that's how bad their liquor was, especially if you're making it in a bathtub, that like they had to cut it with some shit to make it tolerable. So it probably was just a bunch of 1920s and 30s motherfuckers drinking these, and then it just died off when like stuff started to hit. But my point is like it does just sound really awesome. Like like sloe gin fizz is great, like easy. We got a buddy here.
Oh man, we haven't even made it very far, and we're already time.
That's all right. Yeah, when it's time, baby. We go ahead and bring him in here. The man himself, the Indian outlaw, the Bollywood Bubba, Mr. Tushar Singh. Everybody, there he is. Hey,
gentlemen, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
Nothing. You're joining us a little earlier this week in our process, meaning like we're just getting started, which is good. Oh, that's a good thing.
So before we get your take, we're going to have to finish for better or for worse. I think for better, going through some of these lyrics. So before we throw it to your take, but you're absolutely feel free to chime in here. We have the chicken fried steaks have just arrived, Tushar, and she says,
going to mention them.
I know you were, my friend. And she said, I like living like this. And I got to say, I love that line because it's a little bit too old of a line for the age of this girl in my mind, but I've heard women say that or say stuff like that. I really like living like this.
Yeah, I remember we used to always, after football games, once we were old enough to drive, after home football games, we'd just like ride around in my buddy Kobe's truck and just listen to like just country music, all for George Jones stuff, but also up there like 90s stuff. Now, at this point, this is like 2003 to 2004. So this song's 10 years old, but it was on the constant rotation. This song was, it was one of them, you know.
Absolutely.
And I could remember just Kobe being like, just talking about how idyllic of a lifestyle it all sound like. The later line where he whispers, honey, let's just go on home and have some onion rings and watch TV. I remember Kobe as an 18-year-old, Kobe being like, ain't that just, that's it, man. Go home.
Buddy, I'm 30. I'm 33.
Like, what
that's
more
it.
do you want? He's like, that's it. Like the whole song just, you know,
it is
lifestyle wise. It's just
well,
how it was.
It's also what he's doing here, Dennis, the songwriter, is making a very simple life seem wonderful as long as you got love and you treat your lady like a queen. And I'm not being ironic at all when I say this. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Mm-hmm. It's a brilliant move, and he pulls it off brilliantly. If you can make people whose life is simple or that a lot of people look down on feel proud, but do it in a way where you don't have to hate black people or talk about white power, buddy, you've got my fucking attention.
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
So I did the same thing last time, and it hits for me again this week. Reading the Wikipedia description of the song, it's always very short. It's not as good as last time, but then there's a pretty great quote right after it. So it says, the song is a mid-tempo and shifting meters about a man who, upon losing his lover to a man named Earl, arrives to take her back. Kershaw said that his peers tried to convince him, listen to this, that his peers tried to convince him that audiences would be unable to identify with the song. But he later pointed out that, quote, somebody must have identified with it. That song single-handedly sold hundreds of thousands of records. That's right, Sammy damn Kershaw, you let them know. But like, that's one of those that like, really, did people really, it's crazy to me that people in the like country music community, and I know they're all fucking elitist in the country world too. It's crazy to me that they thought, oh, this won't connect. Like nobody's
dude, yeah. No, like Drew was saying, like, and to go on that a little bit further, this song kind of works in two ways, because like, I think to a group of people who aren't really big country fans, this song maybe works as like, they think it's a parody because it's so over the top of all these things, you know. But like, to the ones who get it, like, as you were saying, what Kobe said, like, that's it, man. Like, onion rings and watch TV, dog. Like, dude, when I hear this song, my life is better than the version of life in this song. And I still think to myself, that's it. That's all I want right there. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
Y'all were a little younger than me when this came out, and that's relevant. 2 years is relevant when we're talking about 6 and 8
For
or 8
sure.
and 10 or whatever. I remember when I first heard it kind of being like, this ain't it at all. Who the fuck is double wide? Because I had aunts that lived in double wides. To be fair, they weren't new and they didn't have fucking redwood decks. But I remember being like, this ain't it. But then Mom at one point told me, and she was true, she was right. And even back then I knew she was right. She said, I just think that he's the Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench.
Okay.
Funniest and also best line in a song I've heard in a while. And going back to your point about the parody thing, and we got into this a little bit last week, what Dennis is so good at, you can think this song is funny or think it is the truest thing you've ever heard, and it's still phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, this, I'm telling you, I didn't even know, it's my own ignorance. I was a kid when all this shit was huge. I didn't know Dennis Lindy before last week, before we drove into this, but I've never like garnered so much newfound respect for a person I hadn't heard of so quickly than like, cause this dude was the absolute master of what this is. These songs that do sort of toe the line between like sounding like parody or making you roll your eyes, but also just absolutely nailing it at the same time. And the line, like, I knew it was going to come up at some point. She said he rebuilds engines and his name is Earl. He's the Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench. That's just wonderful. It's just so
I'd never I don't remember. I didn't remember his name specifically, but I had read about this guy before. Now I'm just now starting to appreciate him. But the reason that I'd read about him before, I saw his name in another thing that I was reading was that he was quoted as saying that the Earl from this song is the same one in Earl Had to Die. Just so you know that.
Well, yeah,
They share the universe.
If that we got Charlie Daniels of the Torque Wrench, Dennis is the William Faulkner of Nashville.
Yeah, that's all in his universe. So I thought that was unique.
Tushar, what did you have to add, brother?
Yeah, buddy.
I feel like to that point, was this with the same writer from last week's song?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Dennis
like
Lindy.
it has a almost like this guy's like a rapper, right? He's glorifying the lifestyle of the average white man who's poor, happens to be poor, but like glorifying elements of last week it was shooting up a thing and it was just like getting rowdy. This week it was like, finding this girl who's clearly a whore who's going to move on from him. Right. So the two stories of his thing are like, she's glorifying the poor whites, but also
now,
like
bless her little soul, Tushar. She's not to blame. That's just the way her mind is. There's a way to stir up trouble. The girl was born to find it. I don't think she's a whore. I think she is a free, fully realized individual who's wanted to fuck Earl, but now she's back.
Well,
Also,
counsel, I disagree.
If this is if this is comparable to rap, then Queen of My Double Ride Trailer is the Today is a Good Day of the oeuvre, in my opinion.
Yeah, and last week's would be
Last week was Gangster.
yeah, something with something Tupac-esque.
The whole genre of glorifying.
Shoot 'em up, yeah.
Yeah, I hit him up.
Yeah, hit 'em up.
All right. Well, I want to talk about the chorus because I do think that the chorus of this is better than Bubba Shot the Jukebox for a couple reasons. So the chorus, just to read it real quick. So I told, it's either so I made her or so I told him this here. There's always a different lead in. Queen of My Double Wide Trailer with the polyester curtains and the redwood deck. Now, first of all, there in that little couplet, you've set the scene. The imagery is beautiful. But going back to what you were saying, Tushar, about the poor man or whatever, the redwood deck, that's something they had to put payments on. They didn't just go buy that on a whim on a Saturday. That changed his and her life. When he built that, he built that for a woman he hadn't met yet.
This is for the Bourbons and the Cadillacs. Wood grain with the leather seats.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Windows so dark, you need a flashlight to see me.
Yes.
Working on that doja, baby.
Now let's finish it out. Now she's run off and I've got to trail her. Now this song, independently of anything, without anybody even knowing about this podcast, came up on Into the Biscuit, and they were just questioning whether or not they made it about double wide trailers so they could do that wordplay. I think it's the other way around, but it's beautiful wordplay going back to rap, Tushar. Now she's run off and I've got to trail her. Dang her black heart and her pretty red neck.
I know.
He's under a spell, man.
Who ain't ever felt
been
that?
there.
I was about to say, man, bro, don't that say it all? Like,
yes.
Right there.
Tushar's out here calling her a whore and she don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Just because he has put some woman who broke his heart in her place.
Well, first of all, her black heart, little racist, I gotta say. Why does it have to be black?
Hell, Tushar. You
Tushar,
can be black.
I know your people are good at
that's
stretching. but come on.
Shakespearean, man.
Why can't it be brown?
Yeah, well, I know, like I said, I know your people are good at stretching, but you hurt yourself on that one.
Joke.
Oh, that was a great racist joke about racism. Hey, speaking of which, Tushar, I've been working on your because this obviously your segment is going to be called Indian Outlaw, right?
Right.
I've been working on the theme song, but I need to know if this is racist or not. I genuinely don't know. So you tell me, all right?
Can I answer you before you play this thing?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? No, I'm gonna sing it to you. I'm gonna sing it to you. This is the only lyrics I got so far. He's an Indian outlaw. half Hindi and Punjab. He's basically from Arkansas. Oh, he's a one of a kind. That's not bad, is it?
No. I wanted to be so on board with this. I wanted it. I wanted to be on board. No good. I don't want to be
What
from
was
Arkansas,
bad, though?
from
Tell me,
Alabama.
what was bad about
That's
it?
what he's mad about.
No, I said you're no. You hey, just much like Queen of My Double Wide Trailer, you're fucking not listening to lyrics. I said he's basically from Arkansas. It fit the meter.
I gotta
He's
say, I
basically from
respect that.
Arkansas.
Tushar, are you trying to make
Basically-
me laugh, or are you honestly only mad about the state part? Because I've never thought you were a redneck until right fucking now.
Yeah, that was very rednecky. That's why I
It
had to
was. Hey, I'm from Alabama.
Hey!
God damn it.
Does this look like an Arkansas state flag hat?
No, it
also,
looks racist.
the flagrant use of Punjab is very funny.
Yeah,
It's very funny.
yeah.
I
it
like
rhymed. I made it rhyme. I made it rhyme by the way I said it.
Oh, damn. Tushar.
Let me tell you, did you at least try to fit Alabama in there? Like, I'm upset
No,
with you
because
being
I needed
lazy
the
about
ow,
this.
He's mad about Alabama.
No.
I can't get over this. Corey just butchered. I don't even know what Corey
Hush.
did. That's how racist I am in the racist part of the song. And all Tushar cares about is the geographical inconsistency.
Yeah, not
Arkansas
Punjab
rhymes-
or Alabama or Arkansas.
Arkansas rhymes with outlaw, you fucking idiot. That's why.
Does it?
it's Alabama don't.
Does
A little
it?
bit. Arkansas outlaw, yes, that rhymes.
I'm with you on that, Joe. I just also
Thank you.
respect Tushar not appreciating
Me
that
too.
part.
Me too. Me too. For the record, I respect it, and I'm just trying to lay my case for why I did it. Like it's not like I just decided fuck Alabama. It just didn't fit.
Now, did you say Hindi and outlaw? Because I thought I couldn't.
It's he's an Indian. He's an Indian outlaw, half Hindi and Punjab. he's basically from Arkansas. He's a one of a kind. I went Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I don't know.
Fine. You know what? I'm gonna kind
I
of
said
stand behind this. It's fine.
I said, hey, Tushar, I don't know. Tell me if this is racist or not. And then he's like, yeah, this is no good. And I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Okay,
with it.
okay.
Yeah,
To
we're gonna-
in your defense,
we're
Corey,
gonna go ahead
he
and roll
goes,
that out.
he didn't say no, that was racist. He said,
Right.
I'm not from fucking Arkansas.
Hey, I'm from a way more racist place.
I'm not
Come
even
on.
from basically Arkansas.
Right.
That's a commentary on how we're all the same. Y'all fucking not get me
I like
at
it.
all.
I like
Jesus.
Furious. Tushar, will you change your
I don't
Twitter
know.
handle
I don't know.
to Hindi and outlaw?
it. You know?
That was a no. Okay, moving on.
Sorry.
Corey,
Yeah.
before we move on, I did really like it. My
Okay,
gut
thank you.
reaction was I'm Alabamian.
Yeah.
And
but
how
other than
dare
that,
you.
Right. Yeah. But other than that,
I so genuinely love that that's what you got upset about. I don't think I'll
Me
ever
too.
get over that.
no, you're kind of like officially in the crew now. Like it's
Yeah,
been,
man.
you know, you've been in a probation period for a
Uh-huh.
while for no reason.
6
And
years.
we just needed to see it. Yeah,
He's
we needed
been-
to see it.
He's been trying to get us to accept him into our redneck club by being racist in public, which I
Right.
get. I understand the instinct.
Yeah,
All
me
you
too.
had to do was get furious about somebody not knowing what
Shut-
state you're from and confusing
Yeah.
it with Arkansas.
Literal pride is the thing that you needed
that
to
just
show.
goes to prove we're all a little redneck.
Southern pride,
Yeah.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
He,
get.
he pointed at his flag.
Yeah, he did. The flag on his ball cap that he has
Yeah,
on in the
boy.
moment. I'm from Alabama, goddammit. Yeah, reddest Tushar's ever been. Hit for me.
By
very
the way,
hard,
he
too.
only bought that hat to make a racist video, and I know that to be fact.
It's
All
true.
right. Tushar, I think we've generally gone through the lyrics. As always, folks, you need to be reading these lyrics and listen to the song at the beginning or before the episode starts. So let's get your usual commentary, and by that I mean, what's your general assessment here?
I mean, my general assessment is what I said when I came. Like
Yeah.
first thing, it was like this guy's a rapper. Like it is literally glorifying the world in a way that everyone can kind of relate to. Because it was like a song that almost took a day in the life of what would happen. I do also like how both this week's song and last week's song had a set like last week it was Murphy, this week it was Murphy's Restaurant, last week it was Margie's Bar. There's just like, you're here. This is not some whatever, like this is a story that takes place at a setting, and this is where you can kind of get in there. I just like that the fact that like
It
he
paints a picture.
It immediately like you leave it being like this guy's gonna get dumped, right? You leave it like she's already leaving him, right? So
I
the
thought
struggle.
she came back.
She does,
No, but, like,
but
yeah.
I think there's my interpretation is that they are ultimately star-crossed as well. He's going to find
okay. Sometimes she runs off, meaning it keeps happening. I interpret this
Yes.
as this is what their relationship is now. He has accepted it. This is a Renaissance man. He's a forward thinker.
I mean,
he is progressive.
Yeah, you're right. It's a song about how he can't
canonically,
quit her,
though,
really, you know.
In the Lindy canon, though, she does. I mean,
which is how Bubba died, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I was gonna say in the Lindy canon, she clearly gets back with Earl because then but that doesn't have to be the same girl.
It ain't
It's
the
just
same girl.
My
It's the
bad.
same Earl,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
girl.
It's
Or,
the same-
at least
We've
it
all
could
been
be.
there.
Don't take the Earl.
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
I've always thought they got back together. Another thing that's different on that note from last week, Bubba Shot the Jukebox left it all open to interpretation. Obviously, this one did a little bit, but it was a snapshot. Bubba Shot the Jukebox last night, and that's about all the info he gave us. The rest of it, we had to piece it together. But there's multiple scenes here. How they met. The first time she ran away with Earl. But then, I guess, Tushar, you've raised an interesting question. So let's all vote. I think it's on again, off again. I think Trey agrees with me.
Look, I think that they eventually got drunk and got married, but are no longer. One of them is no longer with us. That's what I think.
I think they got married twice.
Yeah, I think they like from this song forward, they ended up getting together in a, at least they thought permanent way, and then got divorced. And one of them is dead.
I feel like she would have gone to anyone who ordered her fried chicken steaks. And she would be on to the next one. And he's the next Earl.
Who hurt you?
God damn. I think she's a whore.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I thought. Did you guys see the video? You watch the video?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's a meta video.
I love the meta part of it. Did you guys already talk about that?
Mm-mm.
The meta part is how bad of this. I mean, this guy cannot act. You could tell that was a painful 2 sentences on camera to be like, hey, I don't want to do this. This feels weird, or whatever he said. It's so bizarre to watch him try to act. He's a singer.
That's my favorite part about the whole thing. So for those of you that haven't seen the video, go watch it right now. But basically it starts off and you have the scene set. There's a trailer and then there's a woman and she's sunbathing, right? And Sammy pulls up in like a truck or whatever, and it looks like it's about to be a pretty stereotypical country video. And Sammy pulls up, he breaks the fourth wall, and he looks to camera, and he's just like, no, we ain't going to do it like this. This is how it's always done. We're not going to do it. And so in your mind, you think it's setting up for like, oh, shit, they're about to break ground. Like they're about to do something completely different than you've ever seen in country music. And the rest of the video, what was so different that Sammy was about to do is just him in a leather jacket singing in an alleyway the whole time, just like with the camera tied on him. It's like, I mean, yeah, Clint Black did that and a lot of shit. So like, again, they really set it up like this ain't your grandpa's country music video, and then just it was. But yeah, that you're right. Say I don't ever want to talk shit about Sammy Kershaw, but like it's pretty painful acting. I ain't gonna lie.
I also liked the song was musically more fun than last week's.
Hits.
It just felt like more inviting. To an outsider, like it's less harsh or something. I don't know.
It's a prettier melody.
It's prettier.
Mm-hmm.
I did have one question. You guys brought it up in a line, but when the line about what was it? The Charlie Daniels of the Torque Like, what is that? Like, go into that. What does that mean?
Okay.
Because I didn't know either of those things.
Okay,
Like, I didn't both
okay,
know
all right,
either
now,
nouns in this comparison.
I'm so glad that Drew is about to. I can't speak on what a torque. I mean, a torque is one of these gigs.
Well, that's a ratchet. A torque wrench usually is I mean, nowadays, I don't know about back then, but nowadays it's tied
It's
to
changed over the years.
Well, please, allow me. Can I tell you why I thought that?
Okay.
That's the move Sammy does in the video.
No, that is absolutely what a torque wrench is. But it's also torque wrenches are what they call the drill looking thing they take that when NASCAR changes their cars.
Yeah.
Tires, Jesus, changes their cars.
Okay.
Isn't that what
and he hits at that?
Yes.
No. Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that I believe in the era this was written, that Earl worked with an hydraulic torque wrench. It's got an air pressure hooked up to it, but that motion would have been what they called a torque wrench for sure in a different era. I may be an idiot right now. And
if the budget for the video was more than $88, they probably could have shown that.
also, and I want Drew to expand on this. I'm just going to tee it up. At this time in '93 or whatever, Charlie Daniels was a much different figure in the public eye. So, Drew, please go ahead.
Charlie Daniels used to open for Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner, as you must know, as angry as you got about it being said you're from Arkansas, is Led Zeppelin of the South. People adore them, et cetera, et cetera. Charlie Daniels had developed a reputation as a long-haired country boy, one of the long-haired country boys. He didn't take shit, and he partied, and he made music. Come to find out, he let the outlaw genre and mentality be bestowed upon him so he could get more fans, and because it worked out that way. But he himself is a reactionary, insane Christian conservative who he died recently. He now tweets or up until very recently tweeted every day, literally every day, remember Benghazi.
And also that Taco Bell was
the Illuminati.
That Taco Bell shouldn't be so flippant about the Illuminati presence in their most recent commercial. Hilarious.
It's not a thing we should joke about, Taco Bell. A thing he unironically was mad about, Tushar.
Yeah.
But at the time in '93, he still had all that goodwill. I don't remember when Devil Went Down to Georgia was written. Do you know, Corey?
1979.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, even me, up until I found out that Charlie Daniels was a complete fucking right-wing nutbag. He was one of these mythical figures in country. Charlie Daniels was the shit, Zach Brown openly, that was a huge inspiration to him. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. And this motherfucker, dude, his music slapped. It was awesome. Everybody was like, man, Charlie Daniels, look at him. He's like a fucking old papaw. And then, it turns out he didn't hit.
The only reason I brought that up is it's wild. It's just to talk about how huge of a figure he has been and then how it ended up. But I guess what I'm really trying to get at is in '93, Tushar, this dude was a Southern giant.
And I think I'm wrong about a very important part of this now, but as a kid I always had the perception that Charlie Daniels is a multi-instrumentalist. He does play the fiddle, but Too Sharp, surely you know the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," right? But that's Charlie Daniels. I was always under the impression that he is this he plays the fiddle good enough to beat the devil, right? Because of what that song is he's so I always straight up interpreted this line as Earl. The fiddle is to Charlie Daniels as the torque wrench is to Earl. All this other outlaw legend stuff aside, it was just this man is a genius on
what he does
on the torque wrench, and Charlie Daniels is that with a fiddle,
right?
And I think it wasn't as clear cut as that interpretation, because I don't know.
No, it was. I apologize. Okay. Corey teed me up, and then I got real excited talking about Charlie Daniels, as I'm want to do. The line itself simply means this motherfucker knows how to handle a torque
He
wrench.
has.
Exactly. Right.
But the reason that Charlie Daniels is such a go-to reference is all the other things I said. He's a household name. So Tushar, you didn't get it, but everyone in my high school got it. You know what I mean? I mean, all four.
I mean, if this was an SAT question, I would have figured it out.
Of course.
Earl could best the devil in a torque wrench competition. That's basically what it means. Like he's the best, you know. He'll tell you once, you son of a bitch, he's the best there's ever been at the torque wrench. That's Earl.
Now,
He's the Sanjay Gupta of the torque wrench. If that helps.
Corey, by the way, Corey, for the record, you were completely right about a torque wrench. And the thing I'm talking about replaced torque wrenches, but I think they call it something different.
They took Earl's job.
Yeah.
I love in this song.
That's why he got killed. By the way, he was out of work because
they call them impact wrenches. That's what I was talking about. I apologize, everyone out there who's listening to this going crazy. All 5 of you who listen to our podcast and are real men, my bad.
Yeah, that is about 5. No offense.
Thompson's going crazy right now.
I thought this would be one podcast I could listen to where they didn't fucking queer it up. God damn.
And I don't know what Tushar's problem is. I thought it was a good goddamn song, Corey. All right.
I mean, I guess the last thing, I just liked how in the song he made her a queen, and in the same breath was like, she leaves me sometimes. And it's like, it's like, damn, why do you know, that's why I was like, man, this girl is really set the tone for the relationship.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I've been watching The Crown on Netflix, and like they be that way.
They do be that way. Margaret is
the Royals, the Royals, you know, they fuck around all the time. They be running off. You got to go trail them and bring them back because you can't just get divorced because you're in the goddamn royal family. So, really, it's a very apt comparison, Tushar, in my estimation.
Mm-hmm. Tushar, stay underestimating Dennis Lindy.
He does. He really does.
No, I do worse. I don't think about him at all.
I'm gonna take us not Tushar. I'm gonna take us other 3. I'm gonna take us to task here, challenge us a little bit because I've always thought this about this song, but I've never dared voice it. So yeah, I know. I'm trying to think how to say this in an appropriate way. Yeah.
I didn't know we was going to break up as a band today, but okay.
I think if someone who knew me well or knew us well and listened to us and has heard us rant and rave about how much we hate, Nashville country, pop country, the current iteration of it, and our rationale for doing so, which is that it's just like these, a lot of it seems like self-parody. It's the same buzzwords over and over that are just like meant to, get a fucking farmhand's dick hard or whatever the hell they're meant. You know what I mean? Just the same buzzwords over and over.
Yeah.
And if someone asked me, if they brought up this song and they asked me like, what makes it so different to you? Why do you love this song? Why you hate that stuff? Because it's a lot of very stereotypical examples. And what I would say, my justification would be is like, well, it ain't the same thing. See, this,
it ain't.
This is authenticity here. You can hear it. You can feel it. There's genuine, like, it's like Sammy Kershaw. I don't believe none of this is like,
no, it's not
expensive
fake.
cowboy boot, private jet bullshit. The way that like modern country is, like when Florida Georgia Line sings fucking back road stuff or whatever else. I don't buy none. That's what makes me so mad about it. Is like, you don't know nothing about none of this shit. Like you just, pandering or whatever. And I don't feel that way about this song at all.
Because it hits.
Right. It does hit. I know. I agree. I'm just saying it's like, I feel like somebody like Tushar could, who isn't a fan from way back like we are, could ask, or white, yes, could ask us, like, why does one thing, why you get so fired up and upset about one stereotypical pandering example of it, but then totally deify, queen of my double wide trailer.
I have so much to say in my brain and in my heart. let me open with Garth Brooks is absolutely, unequivocally responsible for the existence of people like Florida Georgia Line. But Garth Brooks hits. Derivative stuff sucks because it's derivative of a thing that hit. And then the other thing is how it's flooded. Let me go back to the Wikipedia article. Kershaw said that peers had tried to convince him that audiences would be unable to identify with the song. I will eat Florida Georgia Line's $2,000 boots if anyone's ever in good faith said that to them about a single goddamn song they've put out. Their whole thing is designed so that they know audience will be able to identify with the song. It's cookie cutter. This was a little bit more risky back then. And also, and I'm fine to continue the conversation, but the other fact of the matter is there are better podcasts and better people to answer what we're talking about right now. The people, when you invent something and then somebody else waters it down, you shouldn't get the blame for that.
Yep. Exactly. 100%. But also to me, it's just lyrically like, yes, are these some of the same themes? Sure. You know, like, yeah, rednecks have trailers or whatever, but like, she's the Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench. There's not been that creative, unique of a line in anything Florida Georgia Line's ever done. Like all theirs is just fucking blue jeans, truck, blah, blah, blah. There ain't that. There's not, let's just go on home and have some onion rings and watch TV. There's fucking none of that shit. There's no heart. There's no uniqueness. There's no substance. Fuck them. And fuck you for bringing it up, honestly.
And Brad Paisley, whom we've all defended in various ways, has that song, I'm Gonna Miss Her, I'm Going Fishing.
Yeah.
That song rules.
It does. It hits. A lot of his shit hits real hard.
Right. Well, he did it well. That song pulled it off well.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, I just like I feel like if you're somebody who just hates all forms of country music and you heard us ramble on about all this, it's something that might occur to you. So I wanted to.
Well, Tushar, how do you feel about that?
So, as an outsider for country music and in some way a lot of music, I've never like grown up on a certain thing other than I guess rap to some degree and top 40 Dave Matthews type of stuff. So someone who's not in it sounds like the argument is, and I don't know if I got this right, but it's the purists. You're thinking about the argument between the pure country people who identify as like this is purity and don't infect the music with this something else. Like, so to compare it to comedy, would it be like fucking Dane Cook is just cheating up there? He's cheating.
Kinda. But I don't know if there's a comedy analogy, but the best way I can describe it is there is a current vibe or complaint, and it's true, that modern country has become so watered down and so popified that all it really is adult contemporary with an accent. And if you look at the lyrics, every fucking song is about the same four things, sometimes all at once. And that is frustrating to people. And what Trey's pointing out is we rail against that constantly, but isn't this song sort of potentially an example of that? And if not, why not?
At least it tells a goddamn story, though, too. That's the thing is like these songs nowadays, they're talking about those same things, but they're just hitting the words. Like they're just saying the things. There's no fucking story. There's no build up. Like Trey, hit me with the I don't remember, but Alabama, that last song we remember there.
I was just thinking about that.
Hit me with it.
It's called Southern Drawl. Everything's better with a Southern drawl. And then he just starts listing shit. Pull it up, Trey. Okay. We'll keep talking while you look.
This is a recent Alabama song. I mean, at this point, it's probably 5 years old. But
the band Alabama, Tushar.
The band Alabama, who've been around forever making country music, and they put a new album out about 5 years ago. And I was just curious, so I looked at. Yeah, we'll say it, Corey. I still haven't found it yet.
I think this is there's a bunch of it in here, but I think it's oh my fucking God, it's worse than I thought.
It's bad, yeah.
It's so bad.
We drive truck. Dude, this is fucking, hold on. God, wait, if I scroll up, there's more.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just going to read, hold up. Dude, oh my God, can I just read the whole song?
Yeah.
Look, here, okay. Chewing on Red Man, it's been all morning, up in the tree stand, burgers and hot dogs, living for football. Like this, We're
Yeah.
in a tree stand. We're in a tree stand. It's like, okay, tell me about the tree stand. No, then it's just burgers and hot dogs living for football. Backwoods battle cry made with a duck call. Life's so simple, like sweet iced tea. Here's our down home recipe. We drive trucks. We drink beer. We shoot whiskey and hunt deer. We say things like yes, ma'am, and howdy, y'all. Life sounds better with a southern drawl.
That sounded like T.I. I got a drop top Chevy with the roof wide open.
Yeah, but
I think this
T.I.
is-
invented it. Don't you think it's fair
Listen to
that
it.
rappers, people who copy rappers become corny?
And again, at least no story whatsoever. This is actual lyrics. Country music, mashed potato, nothing like a ripe tomato. Bible Belt to the core. We support our troops at war. Grand Old Opry barbecue. We support Amendment 2. Just about everything is a little better with twang. That's
that
just fucking
part,
mad libs for
when
people
you
who
asked-
are mad at libs.
Right. I couldn't. Yeah. But that part is the part that, like, when you asked
Yeah.
me, you were like, it's that little
That's what I wanted.
stanza is the one. Yes.
Yeah.
That fucking.
But no story. My point is there's no fucking story. Like, at least in Sammy Kershaw's, there is a story. We've set this up and there's something we're going towards. That's
It's
just
just
a
the
random
id.
fucking word.
It's just the id of the dumbest person who can afford to buy an album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's accurate. So that's my answer. All that.
Yeah. I dig it. It's for me.
Tushar, did you buy?
I mean, I think
Are you-
I guess I would just say, like, as I don't know what the history of when country music started, honestly, like from a official timeline. Is it back in the 1700s or like modern, like music, the
Modern
20s?
country-
there's no easy answer to that. I mean, the structure of it and the instruments, and then some of the ballads date all the way back to Ireland. But if you're talking about
For sure.
modern country music, you got to probably start with both hillbilly music and American black Southern music. And the record companies split those two camps. A lot of hillbillies and black musicians made music together, and the record companies decided, I think in the 50s, to separate them as a business move.
Yeah. I was gonna,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating you say that, because I was gonna be like, this seems like a reflection of corporate entities trying to squeeze out every freaking little everything from everything. And it's really gross because it doesn't leave, I mean, it still leaves the artist to do their thing, but the guy was making fun of it within the video. He was like, I don't want to do this. This seems stupid. It's almost like he didn't even want to sing that song. He wants to do something better.
Yeah.
But he has to do it in order to survive this marketplace.
Yeah. Tushar, you're too smart for this podcast.
Yeah, that's why we have you here, to keep us in check. What was the rating system that we agreed on?
Bubba's.
Bubba's. Yeah.
I thought it was Earnhardt's. That was our other podcast, wasn't it?
This is Bubba's. And I don't know if we're there yet, but I mean, I'm going to give it a preemptive 5 out of 5 Bubba's, this song here. And if I could give it 10, I would.
I think we did a scale of 10 last time. and
Okay,
definitely
then it's 10 out of 10.
Bubba's.
A
That's what I
tale
was
of
saying
10
earlier about,
Bubbas.
like, I hate to just say the same thing about every song every week.
It's
but
true,
this is
though.
10 out of 10 Bubba's. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, I think-
Anything in the Lindy catalog is 10 out of 10 Bubba's.
Oh, we're definitely going to have some 9-10 out of 10 Bubbas.
For sure.
But for me, this is not one of them. I'm 10 out of 10 Bubbas. A tale of 10 Bubbas.
Well-
Tushar?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
10 for 10.
I want to say,
Yeah, I mean, here's
one thing I do love about this podcast. I don't think anyone's ever uttered the sentence till I just did. A tale of 10 Bubbas. Tushar?
And never again.
Yeah, it's gonna be obvious, like, you know, in the first several mini episodes, like we're gonna be like, oh, let's do this song, let's do it, and like, you know, songs that hit for us. But as we start to dwindle and we're having to reach for stuff that maybe we hadn't thought about in a while, that's when we're probably gonna get into, I mean, honestly, probably only 8 out of 10 Bubba territory. They all hit, but you know, still. But
Yeah,
this
we're
is
not
a
going to
10
talk about shitty music. But I have an idea for next week that I think if it's the one we choose to do, I don't think it'll be 10 for me. So anyway.
Which one is it?
No, I can't do it because no, Lindy didn't write it. So yeah, we can do that one. I think. Well, let's see what you guys think. What do you think about next week doing lifestyles of a not so rich and famous?
That was
Tracy Bird.
Okay, I was about to say Good Charlotte. What are we?
It was no. That's lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
I remember it now.
Was a play on the show Lifestyles of the Rich and
With
Famous, but he was singing in praise of people who didn't live that life, as opposed to Caviar. They were having RC colas and a moon pie.
I mean, I'm fine with it but the fact that it didn't immediately pop up on my radar means that it could possibly be a not 10 Bubba.
Well, that makes me wonder though if we should save it for later, because I want to throw out our heaters early on and get people on board with our concept.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not like I have pretty much the same reaction Corey did. I do I have to like reacquaint myself with that song. I'm sure it'll hit for me to do so. But
all right, we'll save it. Say no more, fam. Third episode, Third Rock from the Sun.
There
we go.
Not? Makes sense.
It's Diffie week, and damn, son, we've been dancing around him for long enough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Third Rock from the Sun. All right.
Tushar, thank you. You got any parting words, Hindi and Outlaw?
I give Queen of my double wide 10 out of 10 Bubbas. I'm gonna start saying it like that.
Please do.
Alabama's own, everybody.
You really are a homer. All right. Excuse.
Well, we'll see you and everybody else next time on Bubba Shot the Podcast.
Love you, so you bye.
Bubba Shot the Podcast, and that's right. A show about country at its height. Don't expect no shit from 2005. Bubba Shot the Podcast.